What's up, everybody? Oh, 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 oh. What's up, Caitlin? What's up, Greco? Josh, Greg36. What's up, Cisco, the barber, requesting. I'm going live with Mad C, so I can't really go live with any of you guys, but I'm definitely going to do a day where I do that, where I do go live with everybody. So, what's up, Black Ideas, Art Suave? Agana, worst thing we ever did in our show was getting rid of Agana first because she was probably the best out there. Oh my God, Eric Weinstein is on, genius mathematician. Dude, I listen to you all the time. This guy is a G. I would love you to come on the show, brother. I got an incredible show today. I got Mad C, probably, I think, the greatest. I'm going to leave all of this for when she comes on, but I think she is probably the greatest graph writer in the world. In my opinion, that's my personal opinion. I love her. She's got incredible style, incredible flavor, incredible savoir-faire. And yeah, Eric, you should enjoy this one because Eric Weinstein is a big, interestingly enough, I noticed that you are a big hip hop fan and you understand the culture, which is beautiful. And thank you for sharing that when you were on Joe Rogan, man, because, you know, Joe is definitely listening and I'm glad it's coming from you. I'm good friends with Eddie Bravo, too, who's one of Joe's best friends. And I used to roll with Eddie and his crew for years. And so did my jiu-jitsu daughter. Jiu-jitsu world champion, wrestler. She's an animal. She's a beast. So I grew up with the jiu-jitsu 10th planet world like Joe and Eddie. Anyway, we were waiting for Mad C. I want to say so much about Mad C. I'm going to peruse through my studio real quick just to show off to Eric Weinstein because he's on here. That's my painting over here, my painting over here. I got my painting over here. Oh my God, look at all these paintings everywhere just in the studio. I got my Kobe Bryant right here. Guys, little tour. And the reason I'm taking you on this little tour is to bring you not to Kobe or not to my Piano Man painting or not to my Bob Marley painting, but rather to bring you all the way to my original Mad C painting. And she likes to get crazy abstract with water. I think that's watercolor, man. She's brilliant. But her, and by the way, that's John Asaro, probably one of the greatest draftsman painters and sculptors. He did the Asaro head here. Somebody really, really, really deeply understands all of this. Hey guys, do you mind just hitting up Mad C and seeing where she is? Because just to make sure she knows we need her pretty much. DM Mad C, everybody. Tell her to jump on right now. What's up, Johnny Utah in the hizzy? So these are all the incredible works leading up to Mad C. That's the real deal right there. What's up, everybody, with Team Bua? Yeah, Mad C right now is in the middle of bombing. She's getting crazy. Yesterday, in the interim, I drew, what did me and Joe Mena, the incredible sculptor. There's Mad C, everybody. There we go. Here we go. We're going to go live. Going to go live with Mad C. How do we go live with Mad C?
Just a request.
Mad C, can you request us? In the house, can you request? There we go. Bam. Everybody, this is history in the making, and I'll tell you why once she gets on. All the way from Germany. Ich bin ein Berliner, es fällt. Yes.
Hey.
Wie geht's?
Oh, wow. Your German is good.
Yeah,
Mir
it's
geht's sehr
not
gut.
bad.
Wie geht's
Ich
dir?
spreche Deutsch. Et tu sais, je parle français aussi. No, je parle français, mais pas Deutsch. But I live with the German dude. I live with two Germans in Switzerland. Do you know I lived in Switzerland for a while?
No.
I
But
live in.
that's not German, you know what they speak in Switzerland? That's not German.
No,
That's
I
like
know, but I live
Swiss
with
German is
Germans who are
crazy.
there. Yeah, I know. That Swiss German is it's
No, like,
hardcore.
okay, you take a super hot guy and you ask him to speak Swiss German, and he's not hot anymore because it sounds like little kids speaking, you know? It's like
Well, we
they
just
sound
lost
everything cute. It's
we
crazy.
just lost all of our Swiss German fans right now. Thank you, Mad C, for
I'm
doing that.
sorry. I love Switzerland.
Listen, guys, let me just start. Let's take a pause. We have Mad C here right now. Mad C, I just said to everybody, you're too humble, so you're gonna just deflect everything I say, but you are literally probably one of the greatest graph writers of all time. And I
Oh my,
say that, no, I'm telling you
can
that
I run away from this?
no, this is my personal opinion. Because your letters are so clean, they're so beautiful, and yet so powerful. So a lot of graffiti writers, uh, the male graffiti writers especially, they have a lot of power and energy and just force, but yours also has a feminine quality to it. And you use colors so well. And scientifically, and Eric Weinstein, if you're still on here, scientifically, women have a better understanding naturally of color for the most part than men do. And that's a fact.
True.
So, Mad C, you are born and raised in Germany?
Yes, I was born in East Germany in the GDR.
Oh,
And
wow.
then I grew up in Ethiopia. And then when I was 8 years old and the war broke out between Eritrea and Ethiopia, we moved back to Germany. And a year later, the wall came down. So yeah, that's quite an interesting life story. So I never felt at home anywhere, basically. And that's also, I think, one reason why I traveled so much. Because I always felt like I want to go someplace. I never felt homesick.
Mm. And
Mm.
you are now, where are you now?
Now I'm in Germany.
Where in Germany?
It's a small city called Halle, next to Leipzig. It's still East Germany, but pretty much in the center of Germany. So easy to get around. Not too far from the next airport. Yeah, but it's a small city. I prefer to live in a quiet place because I travel so much. There's always so much input in my life that when I'm at home, I need to rest, you know. So I could not live in a city like Berlin, for example, or New York. That's just like too much energy. Or LA.
Mm-hmm.
I have never been to LA. Can you? I mean,
I know we talk about that so much. I'm trying to get you to
that's
LA.
crazy.
I'm trying to do a collab with Mad C. We're trying to figure out what it was. So please, what it's going to be. So please send us any ideas. But there's a million questions that I have for you and then other people have for you because I like to include everybody's question. But the first and foremost important question is how did you get the name Mad C?
It's pretty boring. So
Tell
when I was young and I started writing, I think I was 16, 17 or something. I was a bit hyperactive. And whenever I got to the wall, I was super excited and super energetic. And then they always said like, "Oh, the little mad one is there again," because I'm pretty small.
uh,
Um, and I went with a lot of different names, but in the end, I chose okay, then it's Mad C, and the C is for my first name. So yeah.
and
And
tell
actually,
everybody.
I tried to lose it for like the art world. So in the beginning, I signed my canvases with my real name, but it didn't work because even the gallerists, the collectors, everybody called me Maxi. And then in the end, I was like, yeah, whatever. So there you go.
Listen, I used to be Bua until the real pronunciation has always been historically Bua, but until my distributor started calling me Bua, and so everything changed from Justin Bua to just Bua. So everyone knows me as Bua. In
Yeah.
fact, they can't remember Justin, they call me Jason. So I'll meet somebody years later, be like,
Seriously.
Jason. Oh, everybody calls me Jason. Nobody remembers Justin, but nobody forgets Bua. So we
Yeah.
just we just keep it at the Bua level for everybody.
Yeah.
Do you don't happen to have any treats like any black books in front of you or anything like that of yours?
Black book of mine, no.
I mean,
Let me see. No, I
You
don't
know
have
she
a.
does. You know
No,
she
actually,
does.
I have a black book here, but it's not mine. It's one
Oh,
that I have since 10 years, and he's gonna kill me. Wait. Um, so I have a black book here from Amok from Berlin. He's like the biggest legend of Berlin style writers.
oh, well, might as well
And
show us since you
so
got
yeah,
it.
show you this.
Uh,
Isn't that awesome? And he did this in the 90s. So
wow.
this guy was a big influence on me, and I interviewed him when I was researching my book Street Fonts. And then we ended up painting together, and he ended up not so smartly giving me his black book, which I have since ages now because I never have time to sketch, but now finally I do. That's why it's out here to be able to actually do something in it. So
Mm.
there you go. But it's not my work. I'm sorry. I had no
You
time.
so you don't carry black books with you everywhere?
No, not anymore actually, because most of the stuff that I do nowadays is freestyle actually. So, no, like even for letters, I only take a sketch with me if it has to be done really quick, you know. But I
Mm-hmm.
have the
Look
time
up
to
some
step back
Mad
from the
Seaver.
wall and decide. So nowadays, no. Are you having a sketchbook on you all the time?
Always. Yesterday, I was drawing my atlas with my friend on a live, and then the day before, we had to do a quick animal, so I did a rat. The day before
I love
that,
red.
let's click on a couple of them. And I did see this is my assistant Manny in my studio
Oh, nice.
here. Let's see what else. Oh, I did DJ Rhetmatic the other day. This dude, I see I got weird sketches everywhere. Yeah, I like to always keep a sketchbook everywhere, and unfortunately, sometimes that's my boy Rhetmatic. So
Yeah.
I did a live
Wow.
painting where I
Awesome.
painted him. But Mad C, are you classic? I mean, it seems like I'm just going to show some of Mad C's work. This is Mad C right here. I just love how clean and colorful your letters are, man. It's just powerful. Where is that?
That's actually in Germany, and
Look
that
at that.
one
That
below
looks.
that's at Canvas.
That's on canvas, right?
That's on Canvas. But I mean, my idea was to like do stuff on
Woo!
on Canvas and take it out on the streets. That's an alphabet. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Keep.
nice that you show my work because I am completely unprepared and I have nothing here to show you.
Well, I think it's
That's
important to
typical.
show your work because people need to know. There's a lot of people that look up to you, Mad C. I have another really great graffiti writer watching now, Agana.
Hmm.
She's on here right now, and just
I heard of her before.
I have so many. What's that?
I heard from her. Like I heard her name before.
Yeah, no, she's an OG from the Bay Area. She's really really dope. Really, there's so many good people, and I feel like, when I did my TV show, Mad C, it was hard finding female graffiti writers like to cast. Like there wasn't a lot of graph writers
Yeah.
back then. I want to keep showing your work as we talk because I'm kind of not because
Yeah, you tried to get me in front of a camera for ages, so that's the
Yes.
first time you succeeded.
Listen, I've been trying to get Mad C to do this. This is like the second thing she's ever done on Insta Live, and yeah, Agana from Street Art Throwdown, Josh, absolutely, and she's completely, absolutely, 100% dope. Akira, let's just click on these individually and kind of scroll through. Mad C, let's talk about some of these here. Look at that one. Ooh,
The Jurassic Park wall.
tell me about that.
Yeah. Well, for me, like I always wanted to like conquer the spray can. I kind of like wanted to be able to do anything I like with a spray can. And this wall was pretty much the last one that I did like really photorealistic, like on a massive scale. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, I thought like, okay, now I can paint anything because it was like painting water,
Look at that. That's a close up
painting,
on that. Holy
painting all
crap.
these different kinds of like skin textures of different dinosaurs,
Oh,
painting
God
textures
damn.
of bones, of stone, rock, anything. That's me.
Who is that? That and
That's
that's no, that's you jumping.
Yeah, that's me jumping.
Okay, so were you a dancer at any point?
Actually, yes, I also did breakdance, but I was not very good, to be honest.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I
See, we have
understood
so
that
many
better
overlapping
breathing.
paths. As you know, I was a professional dancer myself, and I am a member of Rocksteady crew.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I know, but I mean, for also for you, that makes more sense. You're good at it, you know? Like,
Well,
I'm not
not
good at it.
not anymore. But okay, check this out, guys. Look at this. Look at this detail on this. This is nuts, Mad C. And this
Yeah,
is, guys, this is all with the spray can. I mean, your can
yeah.
control, the can control today is bananas. Back in the days, when I was hitting this sounds so like old school, like I'm an old man. When I was hitting the ones and twos and the ghost jars back in the days, but it's kind of true. Like when I was hitting it, it was the the Krylon cans that we would rack. You know, I was never great at graffiti ever. I just wrote my name and did bubble letters and stuff like that. You know, but I don't know if I ever told you this, but my grandfather was an incredible letterer, and he did Felix the Cat, Prince Valiant. He did a lot of lettering for the comic book world, and he worked a lot with a guy named Frankie Frazetta. We know Frankie Frazetta because he's one of the greatest painters with all the He-Man and the beautiful women, an incredible artist. And my grandfather was an original letterer, so I grew up with all this lettering around me. And him and my mom ran a graphic design studio, so I grew up with typography. I
Mhm.
loved it. I was obsessed with it. And when my friends would come over, we would all share our black books. My grandfather would do a little quick thing, and it was better than anything we could do. Like he could do bubble, 3D, like ice, just create. We were just like, yo, it was weird, right? Because like here is a guy who knows nothing about graffiti, but yet I feel like because of his hand styles, they were so dope that everybody, all of my like hip hop ill begotten like ghetto friends where they were like, yo, your grandfather's ill, B. Yo, he's breaking it down, son. Yo, he should go bomb with us. But of course he never did. Um, but I was saying that we were using just aerosol, like just old school Krylon pens.
Totally.
And Inkstacy is on here too, another great writer who I grew up with, who's a tattoo artist and an artist as well. Shout out to Kinjal Mitra if you're still on here. Okay, so look, so the detail here, Mad C, is kind of nuts. So you do all of this. Okay, I'm not really understanding this to the level. Are you planning this out methodically? Are you drawing everything first? Do you have a color key, or are
Yeah,
you
like
just
no, I start with the background,
okay?
like really like back to front. So on this wall, the first thing I would do is the sky,
Okay,
and then the buildings, and then everything in front. Because I think if you want to reach depth, you have to destroy parts of your work also, because they kind of like shine through, even though you don't really realize. I think that's what a lot of graph writers, also like 3D or photorealistic guys, do wrong. Like they start, for example, with a face and then they do a little bit in the background and then somehow it does not look alive, you know? And I think you have to paint in the back, from the back to the front, destroy parts of it, and then it kind of like comes together. So,
that's what I do in my painting. I always start with the background and then I do the foreground. But are you not? This sounds weird. Are you not penciling it in, or like kind of sketching it in, or do you have you already done it small? Like, do you have a little painting of it, or are you
no.
just freestyling everything?
No, in this case, like for the big murals, I have like a real clear plan. So I first sketch, like I have a sketch, and then I have like just like black outlines basically to set everything up. And then when I have all the outlines and all the proportions right, then I start from back to front with the colors. And very often I have like a collage of different things. So I would bring some prints of clouds, for example, to the wall, or some textures of rock or whatever, you know, as a kind of like a reference. And then I bring it together on the wall, step by step.
But that still sounds like you don't have a done painting of it that you're looking at. You're figuring out your value scheme even. And
Yeah,
sorry for everybody who's not
figuring
a
stuff
painter
out
out
as
there.
well. Yeah, I'm
Say that
figuring.
again. You're figuring
Sorry.
it out as you go along.
Yeah, I mean parts of it, not all of it, of course. So I would have like the dinosaur and I have a rock, but like all the different things in between and how they transition and stuff, I very often do on the wall. So I take a step back and then I think like, okay, this needs to be tuned down. So I add another layer of like dusty white or whatever, you know, to bring it
Hmm.
further in the back and so on and so forth. Yeah.
So that you're not using any projections, you're not projecting anything up there and then tracing it down.
Back then, at this time, no. I mean, nowadays I sometimes use projection just to make sure that I save time for the murals because that saves you like 2, 3 days if you're working on a scaffold or on a lift, for example. But especially back then, it was 2012. I'd had nothing like that. So
Look at
that's
that, guys. Look at that. Look at, and this is that a canvas or is that, how are you doing that?
that's an early canvas, yeah. But actually, this one I also painted on the wall.
Okay, so the reason I like, to me, I love that color scheme, the blue, gray, earth colors, a little bit of that, just a little bit of saturation. That yellow makes you want more, and that keeps you. To me, that's why this is a really cool piece. Is the earth tones are really balanced and beautiful, and then you have that yellow orange, the little bit of that warmth, which makes you want more, and that's what makes it such an incredible painting. That's the same reason that James McNeill Whistler is such a wonderful colorist. He gives you the earth tones, he gives you the grays and the blues, and then he just hits you with the note of red. You're like, oh, it's like heroin. And that yellow right here, I'm like getting shot with a little bit of heroin. Now, people might not see that like me, but they're still feeling something about it, and they don't have the canon of color theory to understand that, but I feel like with color you're doing something to make us want more, and to be satisfied, but to be itching for something even more. It's like, okay, oh my god, that's so good, but where's, I want to see another one, I want to see another one. And I feel like bad color, you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? There's something about
Yeah.
just understanding color that makes you just come to life.
Yeah, I mean, it's like look at pieces of writers. Some of them have amazing styles, but they completely ruin it with their fill-ins. You know, they use horrible color schemes and then they just completely mess up their piece that could be actually great, you know. Um, and I think color is something that everybody understands, even though subconsciously it does something to you. And I really love to play with that, you know, because you can really change people's moods. You can wake them up. You can even make them think. You can give them emotions that they don't
Mm-hmm.
even know that they are there. And that's why I love these abstract colors because they actually have, there's so much in it and people cannot put it in words. And that's the point, you know, like I don't want my paintings that I paint nowadays on canvas to be put in words, you know. It's something that you cannot explain.
So people keep talking about the JC mural you did. Is that the 18-story mural? They keep.
Yes, yes, that's 18 floors. Yeah, but I painted a bigger one in February in Abu Dhabi. That was 19 floors.
Okay. That, and wait, a bigger one? How big was that?
One floor more.
19
So that was
stories.
19 floors. Yeah.
Wow. You
Yeah.
have I see you writing Mad C all the time. I would like to perhaps you write Bua a little bit more, but that's okay. I
That's a challenge. Maybe I should do this.
I mean, it's just a B, U, and A. It's the same thing as an M A, and a D. You already got the A. Let's be honest. Look
But
at
come on, we
look.
always wanted to collaborate at some point. So maybe now that we're locked up, we can just, you know, use the time to finally do something like that.
We'll figure out a way to collaborate. I'm digging for more of your work. Um, I'm trying to find more, but that one right there really speaks to me. I already shared those.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to find more here because people need to know. What are your, so now with the lockdown,
Mhm.
you're just, are you quarantined in Germany? And I'm sure you had a crazy schedule because every time I talk to you, Madsy, you're all over the world, and you really are. You're all over the planet, and you live for it. Now, is this good for you? Do you feel like you're taking a much needed break, or do you miss the road? Do you miss painting big? How are you feeling?
Well, before all the craziness started, I was in Thailand, and then right after that on the Maldives. So I was away for 6 weeks. I was stuck on the Maldives for 2 weeks. I know, no pity. It was beautiful, but
Yeah,
still,
it's not the worst place to be stuck.
I know. Anyway, so eventually I got back, and because I was abroad, I had to be quarantined for 2 weeks by law. So I was sitting at home doing a sketch every day. And then going out again was a bit weird because, seeing the people in the streets, everybody's stressed, everybody's worried, everything is closed. It's a bit awkward. So I needed some few days to adjust and also to understand that this year is gonna work out quite differently than what I expected because I had a lot of travel scheduled. But I make the best of it. I'm kind of like a optimist. So, and
How do
I've
you like seeing yourself in my camera work? It's pretty good, huh?
weird. So now I'm just changing schedule, but I'm super busy still. So I'm working on studio works. I have a couple of canvases that collectors ordered that I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna prepare a new show. I'm gonna try new stuff. I'm gonna work with glass. I'm gonna work with certain chemicals to see what happens. And I'm just gonna use the time to do all the stuff that I've never had time to, you know? So I'm just gonna try new stuff and I'm gonna prepare my next shows. And then when planes are flying again and borders are open again, I'm just ready to go.
Well,
So
hopefully that happens sooner than later. Uh, you
yeah,
know,
honestly, it's not gonna happen before end of the year, I think. But until then, I'm good. I'm busy.
well, I mean, I think the thing is that, with artists, I mean, this is my studio, Mad C. I'm
Yeah.
here. I have a lot of paint still that I haven't
Mhm.
used. I have a lot of brushes that I haven't used. And as you can see, there's paints and books for days. So
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty busy as well. And I think that's the thing about artists. The other people, it sucks, and that's why, let's try to open up this economy real fast, guys, real fast. Stay healthy, keep your immune system strong.
Yeah.
So, Matsy, most importantly, I love that shot. So tell me about that. So you're creating, much like Keith Haring, you're creating your own world and then you're living inside of it. The first time I really saw that on the 3D level was, I believe, Keith Haring. He did that, right? He created that four corner room. Yeah, everybody, I'm going to pin this one. Follow Mad C while you're on here. We only have her for a half hour more, but that is her Instagram. And if you want to see great art and a great human being, you need to follow her if you're already not.
Thank you.
So tell me about what this is, Mad C.
Well, this was in London. It was an abandoned house that was supposed to be destroyed within like a month, and the city had invited several people. It was Ingrid Beasley was the curator for this, and she invited several people, several artists to do something with this house. So to create something in all these rooms. So I came into this room and I said like, well, okay, I can paint a wall, but that's quite boring. So I just felt like, okay, I'm gonna find a point of view and I'm just gonna paint this whole thing and basically make it vanish, you know? So there were shelves in it, there was a desk in it, and in the end you didn't really see it anymore, and you really got lost in the art, and that was my goal. So I painted everything, floor, ceiling, and so on and so forth.
So wait,
Um,
go ahead.
ah, ah.
And how long does it take you to do that? Like okay. So a couple things, because when Michelangelo worked, we all know that he was really annoyed with assistants. He was like, get the hell away from me. You fucking suck. I'm Michelangelo. I know you're the best artist from Florence or the best artist from Rome and Bologna. But let's be real. I'm Michelangelo. When Pope Julius II said, like, hey, let's hurry this up. Let's get the Sistine Chapel finished. Michelangelo barricaded the doors. When people came in to help him, he threw paints and brushes at them. He said, I got this. I'm the fucking man. Are you the same way? Are you as arrogant and narcissistic as Michelangelo?
I can imagine this situation. Like it took me ages to accept help. I don't like it. Now I do because I found some people who don't annoy me.
Huh.
and to get shit done and to get it done the way I wanted. But it's really difficult. Like for this room, for example, I did everything myself. For most of my career, I did everything myself. Um,
And is
and
that
this one,
because you're just so much better than everybody and you're annoyed at people not having the can control, the
no,
color?
no,
What,
it's not like
why
that.
is that?
I just prefer to be on my own.
Okay.
It actually, honestly, it's like the social factor, you know? I just want to focus on my work because then I kind of like get lost in my own world. And if there's somebody there, they're all the time distracting me and I cannot get lost, you know? Like when I paint on my own, I don't feel time move. Like 8 hours are just gone and I'm like, oh, where am I?
Yeah.
What happened? Oh, this is what I did, you know?
Right.
And when there are people around me, then I just can't do this, you know? That's the whole point. It's not that I think other people are worse or not good artists or something. No, not at all. It really is just this kind of factor, you know. But I mean,
And
especially
so
with the large scale murals, you have no choice. I mean, if you want to get shit done in time,
you need
and
people.
you only have one lift or like these swing stages, you know, like you have 3 swing stages and you can only work on one. So it's pretty cool if you have 2 more people who can fill in large sections and then you go back into it and add all the details, all the finer things, you know. So I built up a few assistants who help me depending on the project. So I have like 3, 4 people um, spread all around the world that I invite to help me on the very, very big stuff. Yeah.
And do they get their name on it or you're leaving their name off? Because they're
Um,
just doing fill-ins.
on the wall, I just sign it, but like when, for example, when I post it on Instagram or whatever, I always mention them. Like I know that there are a lot of big name muralists who pretend that they do everything themselves. I really don't like this kind of attitude. Of course, the people are getting paid, but I think you still have to give them props, you know, for all their hard labor. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. That's very interesting. I'm going to also ask you another question about a process. Is that a canvas, Madsy?
That's a canvas, and we turned it into a print as well. Yeah.
Okay, so is that acrylic? Are you working with acrylic or
Yep.
oils?
That's all acrylic.
Okay.
I work with acrylic and also watercolors, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I could see that. You know, look at my studio.
Yeah, there you
Watercolor,
go.
baby. That's right there. That's in the collection. I said that is Mad C, and then I got a John Asaro. Do you know John Asaro, the statue?
Awesome.
He's one of the greatest. John Asaro is one of the greatest painters in the history of the world, and he did the John Asaro Plains of the Head. So
Hmm.
I got a lot of stuff in my studio. J-Rock dancing, my Piano Man piece here, all
Awesome.
kinds of stuff, Mad C, going on here. What do I have? I'm sharing my personal stuff since we're looking. Oh, forget it. Who cares? Let's talk about Mad C's
I
work.
love to see your studio. So how much
You know,
do you spend in there?
I think I'm like the only person now who's got a crank easel. You know,
Whoa.
yeah, I work at a giant easel. So this is my this is my lair.
Wow.
Look how big the easel is. I'm just keep going back. Keep going back.
This does not look like you can carry it around with you, man.
No, I do not carry that around, but I have multiple easels because I have a French easel. So if I go plein air paint, I have this little easel. If I'm doing a little knockout piece, you know, I just get it done that way. Um, let's look at more of your work. Wow. So that is a good example of scalability right there. Madsy, that is you right there.
Yes, that's me.
And you clearly have no fear of heights.
Yes, I do.
You do.
Yeah, I do. I mean, but I mean, there are so many things in life that you're scared of all the time, and you just have to overcome it. You have to do it anyways. I think it's the difference between like fear and courage. So
Okay.
I see the wall and I want to get it done, and I'm super scared, especially the first 2 days on the top. I'm just like basically shaking. Nobody's allowed to talk to me because I'm so scared. But
Yeah.
after 2 days, you just don't think about it anymore, and you just focus on the wall and you do your thing. And when you're done, you're twice as proud because you got up there and you did it anyways.
Damn, that is, you know, that's crazy. never painted that big. I have only respect for that. And you know what's great about that is you're doing something that a lot of people are not getting, but you're making it feel through spray paint that this is a watercolor, that this is bleeding. Like that, I have not really seen that too much with graffiti, where you're actually taking, it seems like you're taking your aerosol and you're doing a trompe l'oeil in the respect that you're making it feel like it's the texture of watercolor on watercolor paper, when in fact you're using aerosol on cement. Am I wrong?
Yes, exactly. That's what I want to do, like because graffiti is so bold, basically, everything is about bubbles and outlines and fill-ins, and usually you use solid colors, maybe some fades, but like these transparents, these layers, these like it's kind of a more sensitive kind of
Mm-hmm.
feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you hardly ever see. And yeah, I mean, that's how I came up with this whole concept is basically I started using transparent spray paint on wall.
Mm.
Basically, what you used was Krylons, and in the beginning they were just watercolors.
Yeah.
So honestly, they were crap. So now
Mm.
we have that as like a tool to experiment with. And then I thought like, okay, wow, on a wall, if you use a spray can that's like transparent, then it looks like a watercolor. And then I went back to the studio and I used watercolor to do some graffiti sketches. And then again, I took the sketches back to the wall to see if I can get the texture on the wall and make it look like a watercolor. So it was like back and forth, and that's how I came up with this like abstract style. So basically, there is still graffiti in it, but I could change the tools to come up with this. Yeah.
So, can you talk about some of your early influences in graffiti? Just throw
Mhm.
out some names that people, because a lot of people want to know. A lot of people today are influenced by you. You know, just like in the painting world, people are influenced by me. But I
Mhm.
have so many influences, you know, from Ernie Barnes to Thomas Hart Benton to Andrea Del Sarto to Michelangelo, John Singer Sargent, Zorn, Katie Kollwitz, the German. I
Mhm.
don't. You're familiar with Katie Kollwitz? She's
Yes, of course.
actually my top three artists of all time,
Yeah.
which is weird because I don't know if you see similarities between my work and hers, but she
Yeah, that's
blows.
very alive. So yeah, definitely. Yours
Yeah,
is
she
very
deals
alive
with
too.
a lot of the universal themes of life and death, and her draftsmanship is and just oh, like that's what I love about her. And she's emotional. She's a great draftsman, and she's emotional, and she's able to articulate that in an eloquent way. So
Mhm.
for you, who are your early influences from a graffiti side?
Yeah, from the graffiti side, I was actually always influenced also by people who painted clean and concept and did more than just like writing a name, basically. So Scene was one, because I mean, you guys are mostly from the US, I guess. So because when Scene painted trains, he didn't just add his name, he had very different ways of putting his name on the trains, plus backgrounds, plus like superheroes, whatever. So
No,
that was pretty awesome,
yeah,
you know?
the same with me. When I saw Scene, and I was like, "Yo, he just took it to whatever Lee did." Then Scene took it to like warp speed.
Yeah.
Lee was doing stuff where you were like, "Oh shit, you're breaking through the wall and everything's crumbling and it's crazy." Because I was a kid and I was looking at Lee's right there. I was touching it, and then all of a sudden, Scene came around, and you were like, "Yo, this just went to another level."
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. Well, and in Europe, number one was Dare, style writer from Basel.
Mm.
He passed away 10 years ago, unfortunately, but an amazing personality and style writing, super clean. He also had a very interesting way of painting his 3D on the letters because he always put a shadow um, that looked like a drop shadow from the letters. So it gave
Hmm.
it a lot of depth, even though he used very few colors. So I think at this time it was very unique. Um, Another one was Sweat because Sweat's pieces are very powerful. They feel like dancing. So,
Hmm.
and also back in the days, he also used a lot of different colors, backgrounds, and stuff. So nowadays, he's just painting very fast and also very energetic. It's awesome. But back then, it was also the concept. Then also Amok from Berlin, the one that I mentioned.
Hmm.
Lumit had quite some influence because Lumit and also Dime were the first guys who really did 3D letters and used letters and light, let's say, in a way that was unique. Um, yeah, I think that was it. So those were the ones in the beginning that were really influencing my style in graffiti. Yeah.
And who are your top like five painters of all time? Traditional painters.
Traditional painters, number one is Gerhard Richter, the German abstract painter, because Gerhard Richter can
I'll
paint
look at some
anything.
more.
So, I mean, he painted like he painted figurative, but also he took abstract to a totally different level. And he
Hmm.
also works in three-dimensional space. So I think that's my number one. Um, right now, I also love Katharina Grosse because she used this like uh, she uses basically the spray can attitude, like the street style, but in the art world. So she uses big paint guns and different colors and uses space just like in a really extreme way. Then Van Gogh. Van Gogh's colors were amazing. I remember standing in front of some of his paintings and I felt like I have to crawl into this because the combinations of colors were amazing. So
Mm.
there's one painting that's not very known of him in the National Gallery in London. It's a crab on a dish. And
Mm.
so the plate is like a turquoise green and
Hmm.
the crab is this kind of orange and the combination of these colors is unbelievable. So
Mm. He
him.
was really he's able to kind of he was another I put him in the Katie Kulwitz, Vincent van Gogh, Rembrandt, where they're incredible emotional painters, and I love Van Gogh always getting better, always getting better, always getting better technically, but not losing his emotional fervor. He still becomes this emotional. You feel the angst in his work. You feel the realness in his work. The better he gets. I mean, like from early on in the Potato Eaters, when he's doing that earth tone work, to later on where he becomes more vibrant.
Yeah.
He's great when he's naive, and he's great when he's getting a little bit more technically sound.
Yeah,
And that's what makes him great because he's real. He's not like faking. There's so many artists, who really it just feels fake, or they haven't feel like they're imitating somebody else. They haven't found their vision. But I think Rembrandt's one of those guys. He's just an original.
yeah, very, very true. Yeah. And for watercolors, it's Nolde because Nolde he's not so well known for his watercolors, but actually he did a lot of watercolors that were so much better than his paintings. So I tried to paint figurative in a way also, but he had these watercolors of landscapes that were like half abstract and they are unbelievably powerful. So his watercolors are really an influence on me, I think. Yeah.
My favorite watercolor artist is well, there's many, but I think John Singer Sargent is my personal top, and Winslow Homer too.
Hmm.
The American painter. I think Winslow Homer is a masterful watercolor artist, one of the few who really watercolor's an interesting one, huh? Like, how
Hmm.
do you find watercolor? Because watercolor is rough. Like, if you don't, you can get lost real quick, even though it has a luminescence and a luminosity that acrylics definitely doesn't have. I paint primarily in acrylics and oils, primarily acrylics, a little bit of oils,
Hmm.
but watercolor just feels more like light.
Yeah.
And if you use it right and you leave the paper of the white, you could be masterful, like a John Singer Sargent, or like a Zorn, or like a Winslow Homer.
Yeah.
And Andrew Wyeth. I can't believe I left that out. Andrew Wyeth was I mean, he used mostly tempera, but he had that feeling of like, wow, that's hard light falling on the wall, and it just it hits you. But how
Yeah.
do you find it? Are you grappling with it, or do you feel like you've got it?
Watercolor is super challenging. I think with watercolor, you have to be a master. If you really do use it well, it's amazing. But it's a big difference to, for example, oil. If you use oil, you can go back into it for weeks and you can tweak it and twist it and, make it look perfect in the end.
Yeah,
With acrylics,
exactly.
not so much, but still, I mean, like you use like a solid white acrylic, like a good quality acrylic white, and you just can cover any color with it. If you do watercolor, you cannot do this. Of course, you can add white to it, but it's gonna look crap, you have to use the white space, and then you step by step go darker, and you cannot mess it up. So I feel that watercolor is kind of like unforgiving, you know, like if you make a mistake, you can see the mistake. So
Yeah.
um, you really have to be a master to use it well. So it's still a challenge, but in general, I feel like, yeah, I can do this.
Madsy, we are scrolling through some of your murals, some of your lettering,
Mhm.
all of your colors. Speaking of which, what is your favorite color? Now that we're on color, I ask everybody that. What is your favorite
Red,
color?
red and
Red,
turquoise. Yeah,
red and turquoise.
yeah.
And why is red your favorite color?
Because
Woo.
it has so many emotions. It's so powerful and also so versatile. Because red, you know, like if you look at the color range from of red, it can be like a very light pink up to very deep burgundy red, and in the middle you have fire. You can, if you have like a little bit more blue in the red, then it's very royal. So it's even like laid back. So I think the emotions you can put into like those pigments is unbelievable, you know, because you can have everything from soft, sweet to super dangerous to relaxing, laid back, you know. I think that's very impressive, like what this color can do.
I like this one here because it feels like there's areas of light that are dappling on the surface when in
Yeah,
reality you've painted that.
yeah.
And you're probably one of the few people uh, who could actually paint with pink and it doesn't look like horrifying. Right? I mean, like pink is just I don't think I could find a painting of mine that has any pink in it. It's interesting.
Okay, this is your challenge now. I want to see a pink
Uh,
painting from you.
I
I
don't
want to.
know. It's that is a challenge because I think about it like all of the thousands of paintings and I've done. I don't think I could find many paintings. I painted Lady Pink has pink in it, but it's a hard thing to do. Perhaps a character wearing a shirt that was pink, if you were able to take that shirt and somehow touch the background with that color. I've done it, but it's hard to do.
Yeah.
But you do it easily and effortlessly. You're comfortable with it. You live in that world of color. Um, like I said, a lot of men are colorblind. Okay, guy, this he keeps saying ANES1, ANES1. Who is that? ANS1. Is that another artist you love?
I had no idea.
Okay, well, you got the message out there, ANS1. So who knows who that is? I'm sure he's incredible, or she. So if you are able to, I don't know, I find pink one of those challenging colors. But it's been said that no one's ever done a green painting well. No one's ever done a green painting well. I've heard that many times. It's hard. Some colors are difficult, which is
Yeah.
interesting because most colors in the world are blue and green. That's the reality. These colors don't exist in nature. Those are flower colors. Those
Those.
exist in the world of the floral. Um, the most of the world is gray buildings, water blue, grass green, sky blue. Come on, everything doesn't have saturated colors. So that's the problem where you get cheap and cheesy. So to be able to do that in a tasteful way, because like I said,
Mhm.
when you look at Madsy's palette right here, and I'm analyzing this, you're looking at flowers. What have those beautiful, vibrant colors? What are those colors that are really beautiful and vibrant? Flowers. Why? Because they're attracting the bees, they're attracting the butterflies, they're attracting the pollinators to pollinate the world. That's what they're doing. When you take that and you use it in art, I found it's cheap. It doesn't really look good. It's too saccharine. But you're able to make it look good, which is very difficult. And let me go back to what I was saying earlier, which is a lot of men are colorblind, and then a lot of other men just kind of don't have a handle on color. Uh, and then some people do. But I find that for the majority, women have just a better natural, and I've read that before in books of color theory, is that women just have a better, I don't know the maybe Eric Weinstein, if you're still on here, you could tell us why, but I don't know the scientific reality of why women have a better color sense. But I feel like women do have a better color sense in
Yeah, but that's
general.
also like physically proven that you don't necessarily have to be colorblind, but color weaknesses are, I think, 10 times more common in men than in women,
Yes.
interestingly enough. So genetically, it has some issue, whatever. Why? I don't know. Maybe it goes back to when we were hunters and
Gatherers,
picking
yeah, yeah,
roots, and I don't know what. Maybe the women were the ones who were collecting edible stuff, and they had to distinguish what's edible and what's not. And the men, they
right,
just had to kill something. So
right.
maybe that's
Which they
what it.
didn't do well back then either, by the way. I mean, it'd be like, so did you bring home any meat? Like, not really. Did you guys get any fruit and flowers? Yeah, we did. We got everything, actually. You're doing nothing again. So men are useless. Is that what you're saying, Madsy? Men are useless genetically through history, and now we're still useless?
No, I would be very sad without men on the planet.
Okay, good. Just making sure. And here's another piece by Madsy, everybody, which is a little bit more nasty. It's more, yes,
Yeah.
she's got the bright, vibrant colors. And I notice that you vacillate, Madsy, between these beautiful, gentle floral palettes that almost feel pastel-y and these very aggressive, demonic palettes. Talk about that. Because, I mean, look at the difference with welcome to the beautiful, wonderful, magical world, and I'm going to fucking bite your head off. What is going on with that?
Well, this is exactly it. I mean, everybody has different moods. And for me, painting and especially graffiti has always been this way of channeling stress and aggressions or even happiness, whatever. So I put all my emotions into my paintings. And depending on what I feel I have to let out, or even, like the last piece you showed was actually at a jam where there were tons of people painting
Mm.
and I had to get this done fast. I hate having a crowd around me. So, I mean, I got used to it, but I don't really like it. So basically it is this kind of feeling like back off, don't come too close. Like, I don't want you here. I just want to paint. And that's what you see in the piece because that was completely freestyle. Um, and it has always been like this. So when I paint aggressive stuff, then you better don't come close to me.
Are you an aggressive person, Madsy? Are you
Not at all, because I let it out
okay?
in a
So as
different
long as you're
way.
saying as you have a creative outlet, you're fine. Uh,
Exactly.
will this pandemic and captivity make you? Is this going to be hard on you, or you just feel like you can just create? Because you're not. You're just going to be painting on canvases during this time. Is that correct?
Yes and no. I painted a piece on a wall 2 days ago. So I have some smaller walls here around that are my own spots where I can just go and paint, which is very good because I need the physical exercise also.
Mm-hmm.
Because graffiti is very physical,
Yeah.
and that's also what I like, where the energy for my canvases comes from. So I need this. But right now, I'm still pretty positive. I still actually see the good side in it. So I have hope, not just for myself, but also in general for society and humanity. I think it's a chance for us to do things better than we did before. So right now, I think I have a lot of positive energy to put on canvases. So for now, I think I'm all good. Um, if it changes, then yes, maybe I will paint some darker stuff. You will find out.
I I can't wait. Um, so guys, follow Madsy and Madsy. I do these Insta lives because I really feel like it's important to get the word out. I have so many interesting people on who are who really need to for my people need to know and people need to hear you because you really have inspired so many people. I've had when I did my Street Art Throwdown TV show, which was the first ever show on graffiti. You were kind of the gold standard. Like everyone's like, yeah, one day I want to be like Mad C. And I had a lot of girls, women on the show, and everybody really looked up to you, and the men looked up to you as well. So I just want you to know that you have been an impact in a lot of people's lives, and I'm glad you're moving into the fine art world, and hopefully, you know, you will, I'm sure you're already at the graffiti museums and all that, but hopefully one day we will see a Mad C at Le Louvre or the Musée d'Orsay. What would be the ideal place to walk into to say, and before you answer that, an anecdote, when Picasso, when Picasso first got his piece at the Louvre, the first time, they said, Picasso, Pablo, where do you want your piece? And he goes, man, anywhere, but not next to Rembrandt. Because if you walk into a room with Rembrandt, all you see is Rembrandt. He swallows you up. Don't put me next to Rembrandt, but I'll take any other real estate you can give me. So A, what museum do you want to be at, and who do you not want to be next to?
I would like to be in the Louvre, and I don't, but on the inside, on the outside, I want to paint the Tate Modern in London because it looks ugly and it would be to completely paint the bottom. And I don't want to be next to Jackson Pollock. Because
You
all
love
of the
Jackson
work is,
Pollock that much?
no, it's just so dirty. Maybe it's a
Oh,
nice contrast.
okay, so good. You hate
I don't
Jackson
know.
Pollock as much as I do.
Or Francis Bacon. I think I don't want to be next to Francis Bacon. It's disturbing.
Because it's so alive? It's too
No, it's so
much?
disturbing. No, it's not my thing.
Oh, it's just disturbing.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
That's fair. I don't know if I would want to, I don't want to be next to Jackson Pollock because I don't like Jackson Pollock. And I think that I could understand you with Francis Bacon where you're like, you look at my work and you look at Bacon and you're like, oh, that feels like a piece of meat and then that's all you can keep in your head.
Exactly, exactly.
But I don't want to be next to Rembrandt. I don't want to be next to anybody. Let's be honest. I just want a room to myself.
Yeah, well, of course, that's the ideal. But
Who
I want
doesn't
the
want
whole
that?
museum for myself. I want to paint it, like top to bottom, outside.
But the
Like,
thing
what's
is, you
it-
could fill a museum by yourself. That's the thing, because you could paint the museum.
Yeah, I
So
could make so many great installations, you know, like I would like build something in there. Like, yeah,
I could see
I
that.
would have ideas, definitely.
No, that would be incredible. Mad C, we're on our last couple of minutes. These are only an hour. And I want everybody to follow Mad C. And everybody, tomorrow at 9 p.m., I'm doing a live painting with DJ Kubert. He'll be spinning on one side, and I'm doing a painting on the other side. Sunday, I'm doing Dwelle from Slum Village. And I just got a lot of great people. And probably not as great as you, Mad C, I'll be honest with you. But,
Shut up.
but you know, we're trying. We're trying. Thank
Thank
you,
It was
Mad
awesome
C.
talking to you, finally.
Thank you for doing this. You know I love you. I got mad love for you, respect for you. And I want to do a collab, so let's keep talking about how we can do it, something that goes back and forth.
Pink.
We'll do some fucking pink, I guess. God damn it!
Pink, 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 pink.
I know.
I will force you.
Well, maybe we'll call it the pink painting.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, you'd be dope.
That's
I know what I could do. We have like 1 minute left. I could do a character. You could send me a painting or a scan of it with the background done.
And you do a paint.
And I could do a character posing in front of it in pink.
Awesome. We do this.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll paint you, or maybe I'll just paint like a graffiti homeboy with a boombox or something. And you could do a crazy Mad C mural in the background. That's what we'll do.
Yeah. We do this.
Okay?
Awesome.
We already figured it out.
I have to check out.
All
Awesome.
right.
Thank
Mad
you so
C,
much.
love you
Take
guys.
care.
Everybody, tune in tomorrow, 9 p.m. when I'm painting with DJ Kubert. And right now, much love to Mad C in Germany.
Take care.
You're great.
Stay
All right, Mad C. Peace.
healthy. Yeah.